So in order to make any royalties off of your music on Spotify, you need streams, but not just any streams, but you need at least 1,000 streams on a song to generate any royalties off of it. If you only have 999 streams on a song, you're not getting paid for any of those streams. And this is over the course of a calendar year. And so you're like, cool, I have a whole year to get 1,000 streams on my song to make money. Wrong, because you don't actually start earning those royalties until you cross that 1,000 stream threshold. So if you get 1,000 streams, say after 10 months, then now you will start collecting royalties once it's crossed that 1,000 stream mark. However, if you're able to get, say, those 1,000 streams in the first month, then you will be credited royalties for all of those streams. Now, I know that's pretty small, right? You're not going to make very much for 1,000 streams, right? Maybe you'll make $3, not really losing out on a whole lot there. But if you just want to be able to get past that less than 1,000 stream barrier quickly and you want to make sure to get all the money you're owed, and maybe you want a strategy that can also scale and get you to the point where you're making a nice side income just from Spotify alone, then keep watching, because in this video, I'm going to show you how to quickly get over that 1,000 stream barrier within your first week or 2 weeks on Spotify, so you can really give your song the best chance to do well with the algorithm and help you gain more listeners and fans. Hi, I'm Reagan Ram, the owner of Orpheus Audio Academy, and today I want to share with you part of an interview that I did with Nico Gend, who has millions upon millions of streams and monthly listeners on Spotify, and he's going to share with you what he would do to get over 1,000 streams on Spotify if you don't really have much of a budget or a whole lot of time. He's also going to share some really cool strategies too on how to scale from there to get to the point where this is never a worry for you ever again, and you can actually get even thousands or tens of thousands of streams in your first month. All right, here's what he says. Yeah. You like seeing that less than 1,000. How do you get to those 1,000 streams quickly within that first month so that you're getting all the money that you're owed as a music artist, especially if you're not running ads?
Yeah, let's get into it. So basically at that size, the first thing I would say is I wouldn't focus too much on the royalties and the monetization overall. It's really, even if you were to get those royalties, you would get a few dollars, if even. So the real goal is to just kind of build your strategy for the next year and have releases going. And if you have an idea for your music yourself, where it's going and stuff, it's going to be easier for yourself to also share it with friends. And if you're out and stuff, share it to people. And for me, in the beginning, word of mouth has been one of the most powerful things. I've literally just told my friends, hey, I'm making music, please help me. Share it to your friends or something. Of course, I made sure that like they also enjoyed the music. I didn't force anybody. I was like, hey, only if you like the music, but it would help me a lot. Also really important is having a proper promotional strategy for your songs. This can be either organic or paid, ideally both. But yeah, when it comes to being organic, you have to really be on top of your game. And the problem is if you just post sporadically here and there, it usually doesn't really give you any lasting benefit to your track. So you should really figure out a system of promotion that you can do for each of your releases that gives you at least of a baseline. And there's all kinds of tools online to use. There's playlisting curation platforms such as SubmitHub and Playlist Push and a lot more where you can send your track into. Then there's paid marketing like Instagram ads. Then yeah, there's influencer marketing. There's all kinds of different things, and you have to find what fits with your music and just keep doing that for at least a few releases so you can see that. But the 1,000 stream mark, once you have a promotional strategy that actually makes sense, shouldn't be too hard of a task, and you'll achieve it quicker than you'd think.
Those 1,000 streams are going to become very unimportant when we're going to be getting a whole lot more with what we're going to share in this training. But yeah, so having a street team kind of in place with maybe your closest friends and fans, and just have them ready to go to stream it when it comes out. And then yeah, just have a consistent strategy. That's really great. Would you recommend at all like streaming your song yourself? I get that question a lot. Like, do you just like stream it a bunch? What are the pros and cons, that are dangers to like Spotify taking?
I mean, I personally, I have to admit, I do it myself too. Like when my song comes out, I do stream it a few times in loops and stuff. But You have to be careful. I wouldn't have this running for too long, especially when you're small. If too big of a percentage of your streams are coming from a few accounts who are mainly streaming one song or one artist's music, it gives Spotify some red flags, and they've become stricter and stricter when it comes to that. So
Do you
I'd be
know
really
what?
careful.
Do you know what that number is? Like, what's too
No, I
much?
don't know that number, and I don't think that they don't have that public.
Yeah, probably so people don't game the system.
Yeah.
Hey, if you've gotten value from this video so far, go ahead and hit that like button. And I also want to give you a free gift. Another big part of Nico's strategy is Spotify playlist promotion and getting his music onto playlists. And so if you want to know how to do that too and really trigger that algorithm so Spotify actually promotes your music for you, so you're not necessarily reliant on running ads all the time, then be sure to grab my free playlist placement guide. I'll have a link to that in the description below, or you can go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/Spotify playlists. And this guide will walk you through a proven step-by-step system for getting your music onto playlists so you can trigger that algorithm and Spotify will promote your music for you. So grab that. It's completely free. And let's get back to the video.
So
And then, yeah, is there any benefit to when you do stream it, like streaming it on your own profile or from like Release Radar or different playlists?
yeah, I would stream it from Release Radar. I think that's the best metric to give Spotify.
So why is that?
Because I think again, take everything with a grain of salt. I don't have concrete evidence about this. It's just from my experience. But I think if you get a lot of streams in your Release Radar, you're much more likely to get then pushed out in Discover Weekly and radio right after. And
Okay.
if Spotify sees that somebody gets a Release Radar and they're streaming that song the most out of the 20 tracks or something that are in there, it's a good indicator for it. And it's
Nice.
different.
Huh.
It's really, it counts differently than when you get streams on your profile or from a third-party playlist. So these are all kind of give Spotify slightly different analytics, and it's important to do as much as possible on all fronts. Like it's also good to have people listening to your track on your profile and also adding it to the playlists and actually having them listening to their third-party playlists. But yeah, to achieve that, we can.
So you just want all the data. So then going back to like kind of that street team idea. So would you recommend those people to stream it on Release Radar, but then also add it to a playlist?
Yeah, if you have a playlist and stuff, add it to your playlist. But yeah, you can stream it a few times. Let's say you have it streamed for an hour to 3 hours, like while you're doing the release. Even overnight, if you're bigger, probably won't affect anything with your release. But it's just important to be careful and not to overstream the thing. But what's good is telling your friends, like, hey, I have the song coming out. Please stream my track as much as possible. Make sure to have some volume on it. If there's no volume on it, it doesn't count as a stream. And yeah, in the beginning, that goes pretty far away, I would say.
Okay.
And if you're able to get on like 2-3 playlists, either from somebody you know or a friend or something that like, and they listen to a playlist, like it also helps. So
yeah, this is probably getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We'll get to this later, but my understanding is you need to get to like 30% popularity to get on Discover Weekly, which is kind of the big goal. Is that correct?
I'm honestly not sure if that's exactly like the 30 popularity score, if that's really what it takes. It's more like a thing of how much data and how concise the data is of Spotify. Like how it knows, okay, these are really the people that like the music. It's clearly one of this artist's better performing tracks. This is the audience that's being added to these playlists, and the more it kind of knows about your music and understands you as an artist, the more it's able to push you out. And generally with Discover Weekly, I've seen since they've implemented discovery mode, it usually you can really only get a significant push in Discovery Weekly and stuff like that if your track is in discovery mode. So that's a tool that most artists only unlock once they're at 20,000 monthly listeners.
Okay, so what exactly is discovery mode?
Discovery mode is a campaign that you can set through a Spotify for Artists manager. You don't pay money directly. What the deal is that you basically select a few tracks of your catalog, the ones that qualify, and it basically tells Spotify, hey, push these out in the algorithm, like focus on pushing these out in the algorithm. And it basically runs a campaign for a month, and then it tells you at the end of the month how much it boosted these tracks. And for each track, for each stream that it boosted you through the discovery mode, so through telling it, hey, boost this track, they're taking a 30% cut, which is
Okay.
yeah, kind of a lousy move to get more money, even, I would say. But it's the way of the game right now. And from my experience, it really helps your track out if having it in there. So
Yeah.
it's really only after a month of your release that's when your track becomes eligible to be added.
Okay.
And when you add it in there, that's when usually you get a big algorithmic push.
Okay.
If Spotify has good and enough data from the first month and the first few weeks of the release.
Okay, and then you need at least 20,000 monthly listeners to be eligible for that.
Yeah, I think that's the metric. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be a good goal to get to then. This 20,000.
That's more the goal. That's the goal I would focus on more.
Yeah. Okay.
Want to get to 1,000 streams on your track, because I mean, obviously, it's a bigger goal, and you'll achieve the other one.
That probably seems daunting, but hopefully by the end of this video, that won't seem so daunting.
Yeah, but that's the goal you should have, because that's really gonna help you grow much quicker. I would say it's a lot harder growing from 0 to 10,000, and then from 10,000 to 20,000 than it is to growing from 20,000 to 100,000, and then that's much harder than going from 100,000 to 300,000 or 500,000. So
that's a good point,
because starting out, I think that's a good. Sorry, I think that's one of the first big goals you should have is reaching that achievement. So then you can basically, even though you have to give off a percentage to Spotify, it really helps you out promoting your music, and it makes every stream that you get through your marketing potentially turn into 20 or 30 streams once the algorithm kicks in.
Right. Yeah, that's a big part of Spotify, is just the exposure as well as the royalties, because now you're getting a larger audience. Those are people that could, become potentially super fans, join your email list, buy merch, whatever else you're selling. So that's a big thing there. And I think that's also a big point you mentioned. I think a lot of the consternation that artists have around Spotify, a lot of the open hate for Spotify, and some of it's justified, but is the fact that we kind of get this idea that's like, wow, I need to get like 250,000 streams a month just to make like $1,000. That sounds like so daunting, because we think of it in kind of a linear way, but what you're talking about is it's more of a snowball exponential effect, and that first starting out is so hard, but then you get kind of that like hockey stick type graph where it just kind of takes off once you get past a certain milestones. And that 20,000 you say is kind of a big one where things start to kind of change.
Yeah,
well, that's really exciting. That's really encouraging, I think. All right, if you're ready to take action from this and actually start promoting your music, building your fan base, and actually going full-time and making a living from your music, then you absolutely need to grab Nico's book, The Independent Artist Blueprint. Just go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/gend and you put in my code Reagan10 at checkout so you can be sure to get 10% off. And this book is absolutely amazing. I've read it myself. It's incredible. It's generated over 500 million streams for their students. This is everything you need to know to actually make a living from your music. So go ahead and grab that now. And if you want to see the full interview I did with Nico that this little clip was taken from, then click the video in the box on the screen right now, and I'll see you over there.